On that day, mankind received a grim reminder. Nothing like a lovely cup of tea to start a figure review. That's right guys, she's finally arrived. Figma 203 Mikasa Ackerman from that show. You know, Attack on Titan, Shingeki no Kyojin, you know the one. There are some guys and they eat smaller guys. Yeah. Mikasa here is the first Survey Corps member to see a Figma release, with Eren and Levi on the way in the future, and Armin as a Rinto Ronfest 2014 exclusive. Sculpted by Asai Masaki, Mikasa's ready to kick some gigantic arse. We've got a surprising amount to get through this time around, but I'm sure we'll muscle through somehow. There's no shenanigans with the hair this time, folks. Mikasa likes her hair the way it is, and so do I. I really appreciated the care and attention that was put into Mikasa's face in the anime that made her look more feminine and stand out among the waves of people wearing the same uniform. That detail is replicated really well on her faces, with subtle shading on her lips and a refined chin. Her extra faces are gritting her teeth, possibly as she's forced to watch one of her comrades get chomped on, and an intense shouting face for when a Titan tries to chomp on her. Oi, get off! While her scarf appears to be surgically attached to her neck at all times, if you feel so inclined you can replace it with this nicely detailed collar piece. So, whether she's cold or not, you can make sure she's dressed up all nice and posh. Overall, the jacket has a great feel to it. I especially like the extra effort that's been made to keep the shoulders more square. The sleeves and the jacket itself are slightly different shades though, which is an unfortunate side effect of being made out of different materials. If that fact does bother you too much though, you can do what everyone does with things that they are ashamed of. Hide them. With the Survey Corps mantle, you can do just that. Just make sure you're a fan of that classic windswept look if you decide to use this accessory though, as this mantle demands action! Aside from the fairly commonplace hands that you see with a lot of Figma, Mikasa also comes with special hands designed for a pair of accessories that I'm going to show you later on. You can probably already guess what they are, because it's bloody obvious, but still, later. The rest of the uniform has been treated to a fantastic helping of detail. Stuff isn't necessarily going to line up when you get into certain poses, but that's not really going to matter when you consider how awesome this lass is going to look when flying across your room. Knee-high boots? Fab. The best part about these ones in particular though is the toe articulation, and the fact that the bottoms have treads sculpted in. I'm not usually one to get excited about boot treads, but this is really cool. I've hurried to get all the basic stuff out the way, because it's now time to move on to the accessories. This is where things get a little complicated, because there are a lot of accessories, not to mention the first thing you come across is this, which looks like it belongs in some sort of sci-fi horror movie in its current state. This is the 3D maneuver gear, a symbiotic life form that attaches itself to the back and thighs of its host and gives them the powers of Spider-Man in exchange for the blood and souls of the innocent, also known as gas. Everything else that this figure comes with interacts in some way with the 3D maneuver gear, and it's easy to say that this is the figure's crowning glory. While its intricacy can make it an absolute bugger to position properly if you're a posing perfectionist, the end result is more often than not absolutely staggering, even if the instructions seem to be specifically designed to make you feel like a 4-year-old reading a thesis on quantum mechanics. Mikasa's oversized Stanley knives plug into the gear at the bottom. While this can lead to wrestling with the figure to get the cables as well as the swords in the right place, she would look naked without them, like she'd gone to a pie eating contest and forgot to bring her mouth. One nice little thing is that you can pull the blades out. Doing this means you can do incredibly awesome stuff, like put them back in. One nice extra is the hooks that you can put on the front of the gear, making it look like they're shooting ahead to set up for the next epic manoeuvre. These also have the addition of little effects that show like the gas coming out of the sides, making it look even better. These sort of rest/clip on the sides of the gear, so just be aware that they can be prone to falling off. Adding these to nearly any pose adds another level of action. Well, as long as you're sensible. My favourite accessory by far has to be the gas trail. You can replace the disc at the back of the manoeuvre gear to add this great motion effect. The best part is that it attaches to the base, effectively making the arm of the base another half longer. Just be aware that this shifts Mikasa's weight quite a lot, so you want to be aware of positioning when using this, or crack out the screwdriver and tighten yourself up. Otherwise, fallage is going to occur, and with this many accessories stuck onto her at once, falling would likely be about as catastrophic as your best friend being eaten by a Titan. And just when you thought that Max Factory had spoilt you far too much, and you couldn't possibly have another bite of that sweet, sweet Attack on Titan cake, there's more. She even comes with these crazy hooks, strings and things that allow you to pretty much have her gear attached to, well, anything. I haven't dared to crack these out yet. I feel like doing so would be opening Pandora's box, and I'd end up with Figma just hanging around all over the place. It'd be utter chaos. Anyway, now it's time for me to show off, because I'm an arsehole. If you ordered her directly from the Good Smile online shop, they chucked in this sweet D-stage base that looks like a roof what you can have your Titan attackers stand on, so it gives the effect of them standing on a roof. They do spend a lot of their time on roofs before you start looking at me like I'm some sort of deranged fool. Oh, were you looking at me like that anyway? Oh, fair enough. If they come back into stock on there again, I dare say this is a great incentive to buy direct. Just bear in mind that this is simply a base, and it doesn't come with any of the extra arms and stuff that D-stages normally come with. Still, it's a lovely sentiment. Cheers, Good Smile. Whew, that was a lot to get through, and I've skirted over quite a lot of things for the sake of brevity. But I think it's clear enough to see that Mikasa, while fiddly to get right most of the time, is an absolutely amazing Figma, well worth the hype that she got. She looks a little lonely all on her own though. It's a good thing that I already have the other 3 pre-ordered, isn't it? I miss money.